Hope everybody's doing well. Today we're gonna be doing bug fixes. Yay! Gonna sort by type so I can just do bugs. Also possible to submit suggestions in here. A lot of multiplayer bugs for sure. Actually set up a cat cam. Cats are being nice, being feisty. One or the other. So in order to, well, a few things. For one, I'm gonna move the current, not the current, but the old Solace Crafting. Let's see what version that was before we went to 0.7. So this guy's at 6.4.45 still in Unity 2018. I don't need him anymore. Still on my C drive. So I'm gonna get him off of there. 0.6.4.45 was it? Yeah. Oh, there's a 4.6 even. And I'm going to copy all of this except for the library, and I believe we might as well bring that. Library can be recreated if need be. I've never had to move back to one of these copies, but they're big and they take forever, and keeping copies is very important. Forgive me while I eat my breakfast. Looks like this operation is going to cause some frame drops, but not a big deal. So that's going to take a minute. When that's done, I'm going to move the current version back into its place. I'm probably going to need to write over what is in the current Symlink folder. Basically, this is a fake copy of the original. So you can see it doesn't have as many folders. And what that allows me to do is to open up two instances of Unity using the same project, which is normally something you can't do. And the benefit of that is that I can have one act as server and then have one act as client. The other way to do it is to just build a standalone player, have the editor be server, and then have the build be the client. That works too. Anytime you make changes though, if you want to make a new build, it takes 4 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that. You gotta wait every time. If you do the Symlink version, it just has to recompile. It takes 15 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and close this one just because I run into it every day, and there's nothing I can do about this. I mean, there's no information here, no offense. I can do like a closed, can I? Here we go. Yeah, I'm just going to close it and say fortunately nothing I can look into fixing without more information. I'm going to go ahead and go by priority, even though I think these are kind of hit and miss, you know. But multiplayer list of issues 5 hours ago. Trader and other building people do not respond and lock the character of wood, etc. Stock is harvesting water at tier of material, so that is resolved. Harvesting fruit trees default button attempts to harvest 3 to 6 times, average of 5 instead of 1, so the response is harvested. No fruit available, times 2 times 6. Rare trees still harvest as white sometimes. That's a difficult one. It's going to take some time to tackle. I need to upgrade that. Harvest fruit trees default button attempts to harvest 3 to 6 times. I believe the default harvest is what would be a get key instead of a get key down. And the reason for that is that you can just hold it down to let it harvest when like stone and orange stuff when it's able to. For trees, that does cause a problem because you get the fruit once and then it spams every frame. No more fruit. So let's go ahead and do, if it's a tree, then it's a harvestable tree. If it's a fruit tree, and we actually did get key down, not just it's holding. Get key down means it came down this frame. Then go ahead and get fruit. If it's not a fruit tree, then just harvest it. Let's start a patch note. Fixed harvesting fruit from trees. Spamming no fruit immediately after the first harvest. 99% complete. Right, so now I'm going to delete the old library folder. Which is always half the size of the project. Very annoying. I don't fully understand what all of that is, but I think it creates a data file for every file in the project. Keep track of its settings and whatnot. What's the matter? Hey. So that's going to take another while. I closed Unity because... Hi, kitty. I want to move this into back into the original folder. We got the 300,000 files, and most of them are like a kilobyte. It's silly. Anyway, we can just work on some scripts while we're letting that go. Storehouse is not accumulating basic harvests of wood. That would happen when a town has a new day. I don't think new hour. Yeah, it is hour. New hour per storehouse. If the storehouse is not null, get the resource, and this is based on script inheritance. So if we're looking at, yeah, depending on the type of encounter, it'll grab a resource. Storehouse, get space remaining. Max storage amount, number of crates times 100. Good. $670,000 files. Silly. I used to use dictionaries a lot. I don't really like using dictionaries so much anymore. So if the resource we're attempting to gather is available in the biome, amount we're going to give is floor to int, which is unfortunate because I guess those are not floats. I want to change those to floats eventually, but and then get harvest multiplier rank 1 2 3 4 5. If the amount is greater than can possibly be stored, only give it that much. If we're not assigned anything fancy, stick it in there. Otherwise, you want to give it the rate for this is for like coal and spider silk, stuff like that. That all looks fine. Storehouse, add resource. If amount is less than 0, get storage slot, resource tier. Storehouse holds these lists. We're gonna, example, timber. It's gonna go through the timber list of timber storage slots. Find one what if it's null? If slot's null, okay. Add storage slot here. Slot equals timber, tin can 1. That's fair. Increase the amount in that slot. Yeah, that looks like it works. We'll try it out here in a bit. There's multiplayer. Trade another building. People do not respond and lock the character on movement. Let's go ahead and I'm just tired of waiting for this 5 minutes. Yeah, we'll wait. Let's look at another bug. I'm climbing a very tall hatch ladder as he just quits after around 125 meters. No exceptions, no error, just quits to OS. I tried to circle in on the issue and save close to that height. Now the game just quits right after loading the save game. And this is single player. Let's go ahead and try that. I hope me eating my cereal isn't ASMRing anybody. Oh. Cat cam. Hey. A very tall hatch ladder. 125 meters. That is a very big ladder. Let's go back to our highway to hell. Highway to heaven. Sky bridge. Oh, my VS view didn't work there, huh? That's interesting. Don't know why that's not working. No big deal. So let's just build off of here. Almost want to write a script to do this. Build a foundation and a, he said, hatch ladder. Let's go click space. That's a spicy meatball. Good lord, do I have to climb this? Okay, I don't even know how big that is. There's our bear from yesterday. We're up to 80. That's way past 125 meters, though. He said meters. Those are 3 per meter. Magical elevator. Oh, if only I knew how to animate. It's not that I don't know. It's just that I'm terrible at it. Do we have any sort of measurement going on here? I didn't see what I started at. If this crashes the editor, that would be mighty strange. Might have to run it in the player. Let's see the is at 0, which the structure is at 1364. So another 10 meters. I'm at about 150 right now. Don't see any problems. Let's take a look at the script. It is a little weird. Made it part of the mountable class. But I overrode interact with. Not the mount ladder. Let's see. If we're mounted. What's going on back there? Terrain checks for boats. I'm at 1,600 meters compared to a start of 1,364. So I'm over 250 up. I'm just gonna autosave here. Works. This guy's done deleting. I'm gonna double check the hidden files because there's this kind of stuff in there too. And let's see what it says. It's just gonna delete those properly for me or not. Actually, I wouldn't mind moving Git over to the backup, but no, it's just gonna get rid of them, and that's fine. So let's go ahead and close this down, and so he's in there now. Now I want to move over here. It's from SSD to a different SSD. You'd hope that it'd be nice and quick. Hello, Sam Chimp. I gotta figure out how to get the chat over here because it's the far right of my right monitor. I didn't see. There's no way to like grab it, fortunately. Can make it bigger. Yeah, a mere 1.4 million files. 20 minutes. And that's not including Git. Thank you for the like, Caitlin. I set up a little follower goal thing. Do I have to update that manually? And thank you for the share, Caitlin. Current amount. Oh, those were Facebook follows. Okay. No, I did get some Twitch follows. I'm not sure how that little follower goal thing is supposed to work. And I just broke it there, didn't I? I broke it. Oh well. This is all new to me. Yeah, it would be nice if I could move the chat to a different location. Anyway, we don't want to wait for this to go on forever. And it's not actually going to take an hour and 45, but it is going to take a good moment. There's so many tiny little files. And let's just keep looking at bugs while we let that roll. Not sure what that's about. Single player. Standing on a hatch ladder. Exception after killing goat. Animation set speed, null reference exception. One shot at a goat. Single player. Visual Studio's getting confused. I guess I can't really touch this stuff. I can look at it though. Not entity AI. Monster AI. Sense, target, attack, attack entity. Take damage, tell the client they damaged it. If the health is less than 0, report wouldn't do anything there. Thank you for the like, Brooke. Reward EXP wouldn't do anything. Destroys the nav mesh agent. If the animator is not set animator speed. This is what bothered him. RPC set animator speed. So this is a network call. RPC means go out to everybody. There's a chance that, let's see though, the animator, null reference exception. Should only be talking about the animator, and if the animator is null, it's going to return. What else is it selecting? Both are already being checked for if they're null or not. Mob name, need to improve that for sure. Game object name. There's no way the game object is null. And again, we already checked if the animator is null or not. That's strange. call RPC set animator speed. RPC set animator speed. Audio source and animator. Yuck. I knew I should have done this last night. I meant to do it. Plenty we can work on though. That too is very strange. And a goat. I was thinking it might, because this is a network call, it might be waiting a frame, or there might be a frame in between when the goat actually was killed and when that went off. But in this case, we're within all of these if statements. We're not going to get to anything that destroys it immediately. Because it's an animal, it's just going to turn into a harvestable corpse and sit there. Let the player skin it if they like. I'll bet you could even wander away and come back and it would still be there, because it's not registering itself with the area. It's only registering. It is a child to the terrain, so once the terrain turned off, it would destroy itself. But anyway. Where is it that we turn on the harvestable object? Is that not in here? Oh, we're looking at monster AI. And these files are dropping quick as the hard disk moves them away. That's gonna be, yeah. Let's go see if the solution is over there already. Looks like the scripts have been moved. Not entirely. I can just open up the scripts individually. I want to look at the animal AI. Animal AI 2, I believe, is only used on offensive animals. I think goats are passive. Come on. So for an animal, see, these are the ones that are offensive. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and open up this one. These guys don't have an attack, but they do have a get attack. This is what the player calls attack entity. So when they die, if the animator is not null, RPC set animator speed. Which again, this might be going a frame late. Even though we're destroying this. So RPC set animator speed. That was doing the checks though, and this will go back to the main monster AI that we were looking at earlier. This is just an inherited version of that. BC set animator speed. If the audio source is not null, and if the animator is null, return. Is that the only speed call here? That's the only thing I can think of. That's what's calling the actual error. Would like to try it out. Oh, we're down to 22 minutes. It just has to get that library folder, which is full of all this garbled, like I said, 1 kilobyte files. There's literally 700,000 of them or something. And then it picks up. That's strange though. 2 strange bugs in a row. This one I'm pretty sure is legit and I can work on. These both might be kind of fluke and difficult to track down. Let's keep looking. Water bucket problems, I put that myself up because of a Steam post. Legendary harvest not being put in inventory or being noted. We read this yesterday, didn't we? Is it LMP, right? Yeah, not actually be put in my inventory. I'm trying to stone. I noted this. Kind of multiplayer harvesting in general has some stuff I want to look at though. This too, initial equipment load fail. Let's open tabs for both of those. We might be able to get to those today. Patch storehouse. This is similar to the other one. Live multiplayer. I fixed this. Also all respawn harvestables, nothing, no matter the tier. All respawn harvestables. That's why I left this open. I don't understand what that means. All respawn harvestables give nothing. Single player. Is he talking about when something passes its respawn check? It loads stats. It doesn't have any stats remaining. Means it's dead. It's marked for not spawning. We are the server. The respawn timer has sufficiently lived to see its time. The respawn check passes. Times respawn goes up. Loaded stats times respawn equals times respawn. Remaining. Minimum reward, maximum reward. So it should be working. Reward multiplier. Calculate tier, rarity, toughness. If rarity is greater than 0, add a marker. Add it to the resource stats. If it does not pass the check, give it another week, destroy it, and return. It looks fine. Have to try that out too. I haven't encountered that myself. I've had a few people say that though. Damage over time arrows. So I believe I fixed this yesterday. Damage over time spell would not work if the mob is not awake on a nav mesh. They won't actually wake up until they hit a nav mesh, which is what triggers their AI, which we did have problems with before yesterday's patch in a couple of different ways. And if they're not awake, their update loop isn't running, which means even if they get poisoned, they wouldn't know how to apply that damage to themselves. They wouldn't be making the check. This is going to be a little slow with all my hard disk running as hard as it can, whatnot. I don't have tools. That's a bummer. That just makes the screen go black like that. It's supposed to go to Visual Studio. There's a green sparkly over here, I think. Monsters moving and animating and attacking. Let's get a skill going, because I'm not level a billion on here. Wasn't there a green sparkly over here? There it is. Did give me green ore. Better get out of the desert. I do want to walk a ways because we saw yesterday, if you were watching, the nav mesh generates around the player as it moves. So it'll update every 50 meters. And if it's not doing that properly... Hi kitty, what does it matter? As soon as I move further than... I think it's about 200 meters is the draw radius, which I'm pretty sure I've passed by now. But yeah, see, this guy still works. So it should be fine. We might want to try going into a cave. There was a cave up here. There's another green. So lots of reports of stuff not harvesting the actual color that it shows. And animals and monsters getting stuck. I want to make those scorpions bigger too. Those are way too small. Doesn't look like he's doing his idle animation. Let's go find that cave though. While we wait for our files to move. Player equipment too, we can definitely improve that. Yeah, it's still working. Here we have a cave. The terrain did not flatten itself out properly. I think that's single player. There's diamond up on the wall. This is a basic stone that worked fine. There's a monster. It's animating, moving, two of them. Very nice when these guys punch and stuff, but it looks like it's working fine. This guy's not working too well. That was strange. He was kind of above me there. Let's try that again. You guys get up here. A whole bunch of you. I'm gonna get beneath you. Swing. Right. Or if I'm way above you. Oh yeah, that's That's no good. I can't. It's not targeting down enough. It's supposed to do a spear check in front of the player. Should probably be a caps check. Why is this guy not hitting here? I'm like right on him. My sword's not coming out properly. It's weird. I'm off level with this guy. When it's life or death, that just doesn't feel good. So I need to work on... Let's add that as our own issue. Melee attacks not always hitting depending on height difference between attacker and attackee. Back to an hour. These estimations are so useless. Nothing shiny in here though, huh? I'm pretty sure this place has been spelunked before. There's one, there's a shiny. Shiny green cave gives me green. Art is out at, what was it, tier 61 he was saying? That's a lot here. Make sure that that's a normal ore. And that did not give me anything interesting. This is a real stone. And they're not disappearing properly. We're now in cave 2. This is the doorway when you get to one of these little sections like that. Go back into cave 1 here and try to find something I can break. Yeah, that's not going away either. That one went away though. That one went away. Copper. How come some of these bigger ones do not go away? That didn't hit either. I swam right at him there. It's weird. So what happens is when you harvest an object and it's got none left, it goes to the destroy object if it's not harvestable tree, which removes it straight up. Destroy the game object. Wait, but there's a network call that has to go out there. Destroy object client. It's not, yeah, if it's not an animal, report death. which here we do report world encounter resource death, which is what would be called for cave resources. Local XYZ. It's not going to know how to get to this because the solution isn't open. That is under the... Have you finished moving that stuff? No. Harvesting manager. What was it? Report world encounter resource death. It's going to go through all the currently open managers, world account managers, find the manager that fits the terrain X and Z. We're not getting... I guess I could have looked at that. Not in debug mode. That would show up in the player log though. If there were warnings going off, which there were not. And then it just wants to find the position within 50 centimeters. Overlap box, 3x3x3 box. Yeah, I can't look at that stuff, but and only on the resource mask. Those might be marked decoration. But some of them are working, so that wouldn't make sense. If it finds something, for everything that it finds, on the resource layer, loops through them, and finds anything closer than 50 centimeters, whichever's the closest, it destroys. That looks like it works fine. What is issue number 82, though I must state that I play in full first person, so a better fix may be to implement a greater collider on mobs, as it visually looks great outside of first person. Issue number 82, what is that? Can you sort by title for me, please? 82, character area. When in combat, if character is too close to enemy, then no hit registers in front of the camera. When harvesting, if character is too close to the resource, then auto harvest only hits one time and stops. Yeah, we will test that. This should be resolved. We can go ahead and try damage over time. I mean, it just makes sense that if they're not moving, the damage over time wouldn't work because the update loot isn't happening, so should be working as intended now. Just turn around and killed a bunch of mobs in caves, etc. DOTs won't work on stuck mobs as their update loop is not engaging. I open this one up again. I already have a tab open for this, don't I? Does anybody know what this means? All respawn harvestables give nothing no matter the tier. Single player. Alright, let's try and create a single player world where the respawn timer, is there not a setting for that in here? Harvesting. One day before resources respawn. Oh, quick respawn. Right. Looking west, there's a pumpkin. Here's a tree. Here's a pumpkin. Multiple pumpkins. Here's a tree. Let's get that stone for good measure. And gonna hide while I do some cheats. And I'm gonna wait here for just a second. Should have despawned by now, but just to be safe. And what the heck, let's get these cactus on the hill just above this Solace. Oh, and there's a green, that's a good test. Green stone, okay. Green stone just above this guy. We're gonna go home. And things have not respawned. Gonna skip ahead another day. Still not responding. That is not what we were expecting. I'm just gonna skip it ahead. We're now on day 10. This stuff has respawned. Wasn't there another cact here? I suppose it might fail its check. This guy came back green again, and he gave 0 resources. Interesting. That's exactly what that dude was talking about. Respawn harvestables give nothing. Why would they do that? Loaded stats get grabbed. The loaded stats are dead. Respawn is allowed. Respawn check passes. Remaining becomes, I get random. I'm gonna have to look at that in the editor. Minimum reward, maximum reward. It should grab a number between these. There's no way that a stone instance should be 0. Remaining equals that. So remaining gets set somewhere else accidentally. If loaded stats remaining equals 0, yes it does. Remaining equals loaded stats out remaining. That's not good. So this needs to be an else. Hit. Load stats equals hit. Rarity. Calculate tier, calculate toughness. So in this case, it's going to respawn in this case. It's going to destroy. What about this case? If respawn timer, what is this? If else. So yeah, we just need an else right here. That should fix that. The loaded stats exist if a resource has been messed with only. So if it tries to grab the loaded stats, finds that there's nothing left, this resource has already been cleared, it generally will destroy it. It will, however, check the respawn time against the current day count and time. But this if statement was still calling this afterwards. Is that enough? Tier, rarity, toughness. Tier, toughness, rarity is loaded stats, right? Hit remaining, okay. That fixes that, but I did fix that, okay. Globes fixed in 0.7.0.10. Respawn harvestables fixed in 0.7.0.11. For a video demonstration of bug issues, is a simple YouTube link acceptable? Absolutely. And how do we pronounce your name? Animuse. Um, yeah, video is super, super helpful if you've got video for a bug report. Oh, hey, look, my little follower counter's working again. A screenshot can be cool. Generally, what helps the most is a screenshot. Let's turn the cat cam back on. Kitty's being cute. A screenshot of the console error is usually what's most helpful to me, because that shows what the actual script and the call within that script, what's going wrong. So then I can go straight to that, and even just knowing the name of the script, I know what sort of objects are doing what, what's interacting with what to cause that bug. So I don't need a lot of circumstantial evidence if I have that actual error report. So that should fix this, but it still looked like resource respawn rate. And that should be what it was. I set it to 1. And I went a few days and those still weren't respawning. They do their respawn check, which is 10. That's a sphere with a radius of 10 meters. So that would stop that tree. That would maybe stop that pumpkin. Shouldn't stop that ore that we got down the hill. And yeah, like we saw the cacti, one of the cacti did not respawn. And that makes sense because it did the sphere check. It hit the platform. It said, I'm too close. I'm not going to respawn. I've also had people say, though, that they've had stuff respawn. I expanded this to do buildings and town buildings and world encounters just for safety. Let's go look at that again. That ore should have respawned by now. Well, now... Oh yeah, it was this way. Okay, so yeah, this tree did not come back. Pumpkin did. That guy did. Oh yeah, and it was stone. The stone did. Yeah, and I don't need that, but that is what gave us 0, right, for respawning. Let's go back and try those ones at the start. So these guys are respawned. Didn't give me anything. Yeah, that didn't give me anything either. I don't even have my sound on. But that should fix that. Not using the dead stats, but populating using the new stats. How are we looking? 680,000 files to go. Ugh. It's annoying. In combat, if characters too close to the enemy, no hits register. Let's take a look at that. your basic attack is first going to check if you're carrying a ranged weapon, if you're carrying a magic weapon. Otherwise, it's going to do all of this, and it's going to do get target by doing an overlap sphere. So the player transform is right at their feet. It's going to go up a 1 meter from that, which is about their belly button. Max range is 2. That's radius. You're around the player, checking only against the mob mask. And then you want to find the closest not using their foot position, but anything about their collider. If you can get a point on their collider, you know, like the ones we were fighting in the caves, they've got a capsule collider on them. It's just, it looks like an upright pill. Then it generates a distance value from that point on the collider to the player's feet plus that 1 up, so their belly button. And if the distance is less than their max range, which for the basic attack is 2, then it's going to check the angle using their X and Z positions only. Meaning it's trying to determine that they're not too far to the left or to the right or behind you, because the sphere check goes around the player entirely. Vector 3 angle, target direction, player forward. If the angle is less than the maximum angle, I wonder if there's any cases where that goes funky. I'll bet there is, because we were having issues with that. Because an angle is 0 to 360, but for example, 361 is the same as 1, right? You've done a full loop and come back to 1, but max angle 45. I don't think I can get mouse overs because I'm not in the actual solution while I wait for this stuff to finish moving. Still hasn't moved the solution. I could have moved that first. If angle is less than max angle. Let's look that up online. Returns the angle in degrees between from and to. The returned angle is the unsigned angle between the two vectors. The result is never greater than 180 degrees. We were just talking about this the other day, and I was wrong in my usage of this word. Let me double check that. So signed means it can go negative. Unsigned, I guess we could call this the sign, huh? And unsigned, it can only go positive. So when Unity says, when Unity says this is an unsigned angle, it should not be able to go negative. So that math should work. But again, and in particular, those rock monsters in the caves, I know that their capsule colliders aren't that big. Like I think they only go up to like here and like just out to their chest. So it may look like you're close to hitting them, but you're really not in some cases. Let's, in order to test that out nicely, let's go ahead and add something to look at. Oh god, it's not going to give me anything because it doesn't even know what Unity Engine is if I don't have the solution open. I don't think there's a debug draw sphere of any kind, but I'm just going to do game object go equals new game object dot create primitive type dot sphere go dot transform dot position equals color dot transform dot position plus new vector 3. Yeah, this is just plus vector 3 dot up. It's kind of not necessary there. You might need an uppercase U. I don't think so. Go dot get component collider. Sphere is going to have a sphere collider on it. I think it's actually just, do I do destroy or do I do remove component? I don't quite remember. It's a bummer not having Visual Studio's, what is it called, IntelliSense. Usually it's able to predict things that you can do. Destroy component. Remove component. Newbie questions. Feel like a noob now. Destroy, 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 destroy. Yeah, it's just destroy, right? I knew that. I was just testing. Anybody watching? So we want to get that, and we don't even need to store it. We can just say destroy, because I know it's there. Destroy the collider on it. And so what this is going to do is when it tries to get the target with this sphere check, it's also going to create a sphere that doesn't actually have a collider, so it's just a visual object. Just so I can see, I can go into the scene view and actually look and see how far my reach is really going. And then I want to destroy that 5 seconds later, just so they don't hang around. And we'll try that on some of those guys in the caves. I think that's probably like the worst example. The stone golems in the caves there have bad collider setups. I could add a ragdoll to them. They're hard to loot too because they're not set up for ragdolls. Like the crystal golems or the obsidian golems at the end of caves, they have ragdolls set up so they can fall over and die, which means that they've got capsule colliders in their body and their arms and their legs, and you can target any one of those to begin looting the monster. The stone golems, however, they've just got a single collider, and it doesn't even move with them when they die. The animation is separate from the collider, so it just hangs right at their feet, right above their feet, and you have to go and look right at that in order to loot it. I don't think this is going to take another 35 minutes, but hopefully not. So that'll let us look at that. Check crafting practice and multiplayer. We can do that right now. I was doing that. I wrote that down from yesterday. Check targeting sphere against cave golems. Let's go ahead and look at crafting practice in multiplayer. My software here is warning at me that I'm dropping a lot of frames because of this heavy move operation going on. Sorry if that's affecting the... Got 3 or 4 cats in the cat camera though. Multiplayer. He said he tried an iron helmet. Warning, an error has occurred. Null manager grabbed on Sin World Encounter dead resources. That's not nice. It looks like it did in fact clear the resources that were down here that I had just harvested though. That's the method where the server is the only one that's actually storing that data, and it has to send it to me when I come into the cave. Maybe a bit of a timing issue there where it sent it once, then the world encounter loaded and actually made use of those things. Because there was stone right here that we were hitting. Anyway, don't need facilities to craft one of those. He did a stone hatchet or something, he said. I'm at 0 experience. I'm going to practice. It should give me 12 experience and no item. Practice did not update immediately. I did not get an item. Did practice work still 0? That might just not be updating properly from the server. Let's try one more. Still no update. Let's try crafting one. I leveled up from masonry. Oh yeah? Okay, there it updated. Crafting one of these would not level me up. So it looks like it only passed me my experience after leveling up. If I craft another one, I still don't. It's not showing that there. Single craft should be 8, so I should be at 8 EXP right now. Let's write that down. Harvesting. Ooh. Harvesting experience for crafting and practice. Not being immediately passed to the client multiplayer. And what did we come on here? That's what we came on here to do. What just happened? What was that? What was it that he actually said, though? Was that practice? No. List of issues, was that it? Various bugs, I think that's what it is. Yeah. Stone pickaxe and iron helmet. He said single player. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Single player worked fine for me. Using practice still creates the items. Was his only concern. But I was not awarded the stone hatchet. So I don't know what to tell you there. 5 days ago. It's a bummer when everybody's former user. Fixed veggies. Closed. Fixed edibles. Let's try. I already did that yesterday. Fixed edibles can't reproduce. Practice generating items. Please provide more info or double check that. Double check what was. We don't want this list just filling up to no end. What else? Did I have initial let's look at that harvesting EXP thing we're just doing right now. I think we already have harvestable object open. So this happens on the server. Harvest object generates the amount, adds the attack message. If there's anything to reward, does some checks, and adds resources harvested, adds the item. This is working, this is not. Player harvesting. So when we when we add resources harvested, it writes that down. What was the problem we're looking into? It's not sending that back to the client immediately. This is happening on the server. The experience is going up. Current level, current experience. We're recording what type? Current experience case. Do we switch through that multiple times? We do. In any case here, yeah, those are sync vars, so that's fine. The data itself is updating. Because this is all just automatic. As soon as it changes, it's going to go to the player right away. What we need is to tell the player to update their crafting windows. It's funny that the stats window wouldn't do that on its own. Stats UI. This is one of my earliest scripts. It's giant and ugly. Adventuring, harvesting. We were looking at quarrying experience. Now this is update stats, which does not get called on enable, apparently, because the data should be syncing up properly. So who calls update stats? It's probably not going to let me find references because we don't have the solution open. Still haven't moved that stuff over. Down to 200,000, getting there. Coming up, which is where I just stretch a little bit, play with my kitties. I got all 5 kitties. Not 5, 4. All 4 kitties on the cat cam. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Good kitties. I see you looking over here. It's Yume, Tabi, Paru, and Pipi. We bought the furthest two, the white and the gray, are rescue kitties from the shelter. The black kitty nearest me here is Yume. She was rescued by my brother-in-law as a police officer. Police in Japan are very different than police in the States. You know, they don't camp people for speeding tickets and stuff like that. They leave their lights on when they drive. They won't just kind of go around and help people. Interesting concept, but it's a much safer place here. Is why their job is so different. But he picked her up as a kitten. Someone called in and said there's a cat stuck in. I think it was kind of like a sewer grate or something like that. So we took her in. And then when we moved into this house, I want to say 3 years ago. Not but like 3 weeks in, there were kittens out in our garden. And I tried to catch all three of them. Tabby there, the orange one, he showed up first by himself. And I was able to grab him, get him to the vet, get him checked out, and take him inside. Two more showed up after that. And one of them actually died kind of in my hands. I rushed him to the vet. I found him on my back porch. He was being eaten alive by fleas. Took him to the vet, was on life support for like 2 days, but he died. He just didn't have enough blood left in his system. He'd been sucked dry. And there was one more that we actually set up a trap net with like a, it was like a 4-corner trap, and then we put like some tuna fish in the middle of the net, and we watched from a window. And when it went for the tuna, I grabbed it, but it got out, and that scared it, and we never saw it again. So, and there are some stray cats out here, which one of them is black, so maybe it's that one that grew up. I don't know, but we got hawks and snakes and boars, and you go up in the mountains, they have webless spiders that run and hunt birds and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, not a fun place for stray cats. But everybody except for Yume has the crinkled tails. So I don't know what's up with that. But I'm going to just go to the bathroom, take a little stretch. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. I was on mute that whole time, wasn't I? What do you know? That's great. I need to just not use that mute button because I'm too stupid to turn it back on. I was rambling there for like 10 minutes. Whatever. I was just going to mute it so I could clear my throat. Realized I'd been muted for 10 minutes rambling about nothing. I was rambling about Patreon, actually. Just how I feel bad that I don't know how to post more updates to Patreon, because I post updates on Steam. I feel bad just copy and pasting patch notes into Patreon. But then again, I was saying how, like, for myself as a player, it's important to me most of all for games that I like that they get developed, just that they're getting worked on and not stupidly, which is, that can happen too. Not just developed on, but developed on in a good way. So I hope that that's the stance that most of my patrons have. I do have some ideas, and they're on there as tier rewards for what rewards for higher level. There's the tiered $5 versus $25 versus kind of thing. Yeah, Path of Exile is cool, and their supporter packs are expensive. I mean, this just sounds expensive to me, and people buy them like crazy. And, most of it is just that you're supporting the game, and people are happy to do that, and it's really cool that there's a lot of different ways to do that nowadays. Like, I'm just getting started here on Twitch. If I can get to 50 followers, then I'm an affiliate. And, I start getting some things that I can do with Twitch. And I've got Patreon running, but, yeah, there you go. We got Lucian in Twitch chat saying he's bought 1 year of Tanks Premium for $100 a year. And I just don't really have anything to offer like that. And the goal isn't, it's wrong to say that the goal isn't money, because you do need money, and I certainly do want to get $1 million so that I can hire people to do the programming that I'm just not very good at. I've gotten decent at it, but I'm not a programmer. It's not what I came here to do. I spend maybe 5% of my time designing, which is my preferred role, lead designer. 90% of the time I'm doing this kind of stuff, programming, messing with Unity, fixing bugs. But I just don't have the money right now to be paying for staff. Hopefully version 1.0 will bring in a nice chunk of change. But there certainly could be some cool stuff that, cosmetics are fine. Of course, we're never going to do anything that's pay to win, because that's disgusting. But pay to support with rewards is cool. Yeah, Solace Crafting Premium Cosmetics. I have thought about doing like Solace's. We've got the it's just the purple crystal. And there could be some kind of a little store that lets you buy different styles of Solaces that look different, that are bigger, different colors, different effects. They also have the beacons, which is just, it's just a pillar of light right now, but that could be a cosmetic, glowy effects, stuff like that, which is extra fun in multiplayer, of course. But that does all require time. It's kind of the biggest problem. Anytime I spend working on stuff like that, I'm not focusing on the main game. But if it leads to an extra, who knows? Once stuff adds up. And here we go. Now the only problem left with this is when I open the sim link, it's probably going to want to update. It kind of scares me, but should be fine. And this is all backed up on Bitbucket here anyway, in the Git repository, of course, locally as well, so it shouldn't be a problem. And there we go. So let's try and just open that one up first. It's going to say, I don't know where this is. No. Okay, so you just don't exist anymore. Go ahead and remove that. Solace Crafting 2019. And likewise, Visual Studio is not going to recognize this anymore, but it is familiar with the C drive version. I did change that script. Very good. Once this is all up and running, you are supposed to be pinned. We'll wait for Unity to show up. New version, oh boy. I'm sure it's amazing. What is it? 15? Android profiling, known issues, release no fixes, animation, editor, graphics, basic upload in progress. Don't really need any of that. Alright, loaded up fine. Create primitive. Did I spell that wrong? Game object dot. Oh, you don't do new, first of all. Create primitive. That was all that was wrong with it. Wasn't a new. It actually returns a game object. Yeah, I can only get 3 of my cats to sleep next to each other. These are our 3 boys, and the girl, Yume, she'll only sleep with Pearl, the gray kitty there. She doesn't like the other 2. Once in a blue moon, though. It starts getting cold here, they'll start snuggling closer. So I'm going to go ahead and open up another instance of Unity. And we're going to open up the... Oh, and it does recognize that it's 2019. So hopefully it doesn't try to update a whole bunch of stuff. Like I say, it's just kind of a shadow copy of the main project. And that lets us run a server instance and a client instance, both in the editor, rather than having to keep building standalone executables. I got the mic closer to my face, definitely, than I did yesterday, and I think I was mumbling a lot yesterday. I've got other microphones, but this is supposed to be it's a condenser mic. It should be good quality, as long as it doesn't pick up too much noise. I've actually got... The cat cam isn't recording, is it? No, it's not. Okay. Got all kinds of volume controls in the streaming software here. Still getting used to. Yeah, what do you think about music while this is going on? I would usually listen to some music in the background, but since I'm talking, I haven't felt the need to be listening to music personally. There are plugins that will just run some light music in the background. And you're absolutely not allowed to listen to anything, created by actual people. They'd throw you off a Twitch in an instant. But there's tools that, they store lists of music that's okay to stream in the background. And YouTube has a lot of playlists like that too. I don't know how far you can trust those. So that's an increasing problem on Twitch. People getting DMCA'd, I think it's called, Digital Media Copyright Act stuff, where they'll just shut you down, for playing. But there is a plugin. I'm using Streamlabs, and it has a music plugin that'll run some music of your type in the background. So this is just updating its local library of its own copy. Like it's an 80% shadow copy in that it doesn't store any of the prefabs, any of the music or the assets. Doesn't have to have its own copy of those. Or this, yeah, it does have its own script solution though. I think so, but it has to keep its own library, which is the metadata for the files. So just waiting for that to load up. In the meantime, let's go look at what we implemented with the little sphere check against some cave monsters. And I've got a Solace right outside of a cave we can jump straight to. I grew up in Seattle, so we had, I think they still call it hardcore, which is not really heavy metal, but it's pretty heavy. So see, when I attack there, it creates that sphere on me, and that is not, yeah, that's not a good enough. Oh, and I'm not scaling that properly, am I? Okay, let's go ahead and get to the cave first. This is all gonna run a bit slow while I've got everything running in the background. I'm gonna go outside the cave. I've seen that a couple times now. The reflection probe throwing in it. Yeah, anyway. I'm gonna save here. And we want to scale this up to match our max range. And this guy is a radius, right? So I'm going to be setting that to 2. I believe that's the diameter though. Let's check. So if we make a sphere and we make a cube, oops, just another sphere. A cube is 1 by 1 by 1. This sphere to scale of 1 by 1 by 1 is also only, so that's the diameter that we're dealing with. So since we're trying to mimic the radius, we actually want to do this times 2. And that should give us a pretty big sphere of influence. I'm curious if it isn't the angle somehow. So I'm going to turn this on, and I'm actually going to go to get component renderer dot shared material equals, and then I think it's building. This will give it that sort of translucent, transparent, semi-transparent material, so it's not in the way. I tend to listen to techno while I work, mostly because if there's too many vocals, I get distracted. I tend to listen to kind of down-tempo trance or sort of down-tempo drum and bass. They call it liquid drum and bass. It's, you know, drum and bass has always got that upbeat pace, but then it's kind of calmer, smoother versions of that. Keeps me kind of alert, but not not on edge, I guess. Yeah, that's a good point. Viking heavy metal would not be distracting, would it? Because, yeah, I wouldn't know the words either. So we're in a kit here, and I'm going to bring him over to a ledge. He's a slowpoke. Make sure he doesn't reset. And I want to get above him. And I'm going to attack, and did I hit him there? That was not as transparent as I was hoping for. So his collider is this guy. So yeah, I'm not hitting his collider at this point. It's kind of because he's leaning back there, isn't it? Honestly though, I think their collider should just be bigger. I mean, like, it's not even encompassing his head hardly at all and some stuff. But even still, and I didn't hit him there, right? Go to the game view. He dodged, so I did hit him. No, that was me dodging, huh? Yeah, so I'm not able to hit him from here, even though he can hit me. But even if I increase his capsule collider something more like you know, even bigger like that, which is fitting, and he's kind of hunched back. Could go back like this a little more. Maybe give it a 1 even. And as far as positioning goes, that looks like a better collider, but still I'm not actually even going to be reaching him right here. I think I will up the collider to work that way though, so I'm going to copy the component stats for that. And yeah, it looks like, well now, I think he moved a step closer there, so I hit him. That is a pretty good you know, anything in here that isn't more than 45-degree angles, X or Y, away from me should hit. So I think kind of the problem more with him was the collider. Currently melee weapons do not have per weapon reach, no. I think we need to give a pass at some of the monsters and animals. We were just fighting an earth elemental. Nope. Those are golems. Stone golem. So we're gonna up his collider to be bigger. And then let's take a look at the rest of these. Stone golem, that's what I'm on. Stone elemental. You know, you don't want it to be too big, or they have problems getting through doorways. That's a thing too. Thank you, Lucian. I don't think I've even shared it myself. You have to be a follower of the page. It should be shared on Solace Crafting's Facebook page, but so what I'm worried about doing here is creating a situation where these guys can't travel through the doors, like in the towers. Let me go back here to the cave, create a doorway. This guy's gonna re-import everything, isn't he? The navmesh agent settings are separate from the actual collider settings, so he might think that he's able to get through the doorway, but then find that he's actually not. I'm not totally sure how that will play out. Let's just do some basic foundations here. Like so. And then I want to do some doorways. Let's do a stone doorway too. I mean, I can barely fit through that. And then where's that dude at? And let's double check. We got Nav mesh updated all of that properly, right? Yeah, okay. Well, he doesn't want to. He can climb up over there. Going the wrong way. So he can't jump, but he can go that way. And he can get through there. Can he get through here? He can get through here. So, even though his collider should totally not let him go through there. I'm fine with that. He's just gonna walk right through it. And that's cool, because I just want to be able to hit him easier. So that confirms I don't really need to worry about increasing the collider size on mobs and animals. That just means that I can't get closer to him than this, you know what I mean? Because his collider is now bigger. That means I can hit him a lot easier. So let's go ahead and go through, and we don't want this anymore. I'm just gonna leave it there anyway. Might use it someday. Can you fudge the width a bit to simulate they are churning to get through the doorway, where their farthest width is transparent the doorway? I'm not sure what you mean there, Lucian. That's basically a sphere collider. But yeah, nice being easier to hit. Let's go with it. Stone Golem, and these guys have been throwing problems too. What is it? The torso is not actually letting me create a convex because there's too many vertices. Yeah, there's 778 there. Do I not have a level of detail for those guys? Yeah, those are just ones that I made myself. I do have a decimate tool somewhere, but I'll work on that at another time. Obsidian Golem Ragdoll. Yeah, he's got a nice big collider. Ice Golem. Yeah, he could be a lot bigger. Let's do that to 1 and 2.2. 2.3. 1.15. Looks fine. Fire Golem. Are these guys in game? I don't think I've actually added these in yet. Do these guys spawn in the lava caves? They're supposed to. Fire Elemental. these guys to be throwing fireballs ASAP. Not there yet, but we'll gladly increase. That's kind of wide there. Let's try, but not too big. Fire elemental, earth elemental. What did we do for the stone elemental? 1 and a 2. That's fair. Crystal golem, he's got a big one. He's good. Alright for the monsters. The bear has a box collider. And that's pretty solid. The boar also has a box collider, and once again that is pretty good. We could do that a little longer. 1.9. It makes them easier to hit. Kind of the only problem with these guys is their melee range. If you give them too much collider space, they run into you and they push you, which is kind of nice for boars. This is going to be 0.8, since that's the total from his center, which is off center a bit. But more or less, probably like 0.9. So that should be enough melee range for him. Chicken. These guys are tiny. But chickens are tiny. What are you gonna do? Cow is probably fine. Usually you're chasing them, trying to hit them in the butt. Crocodile. Crocodile. It's not bad. What did Lucian say? Spiders and foxes are hard to hit. Doe looks alright. Fox. Foxes are passive animals, aren't they? Probably looks like you're gonna hit the tail and then you don't. That's a pretty good bounding box though. It could be a little taller. Goat looks good. Hippo is big. See, and so this guy's got 3.47. So half of that's like what, 1.8 almost? So he needs a big melee range. Pigs, using a capsule collider for whatever reason. They're kind of hard to hit. Let's go ahead and give them a box collider. Doesn't need to be that wide. Needs to be up at least half, and it could be a little bigger. 1.2, go up to 0.6 center, and then the Z can move forward a bit. That should be easier to hit. You don't need to get right up on him anyway. Rabbit. Rabbit's a little small, huh? You can't see this, so it's, it's not bad if it's a little bigger than what we might really expect. Rhinoceros is big and the head sticks forward so much. These guys are kind of tough because they run straight at you. If you're swinging at the horn, you're going to miss. But they get right in your face already. They've got melee range of 3, I believe. No? Let's give them bigger melee range. And I think they're alright. Scorpion. Yeah, he doesn't need to be that small. It's just trying to be realistic there. Chickens should not be giving hide anymore. Not sure that I confirmed that myself, but they are now feather rewarders, which are currently useless, but I want to change speed potions to require feathers, and then we'll do Featherfall enchants, Featherfall potions, and maybe some fancy bows will need to have feathers. That cat cam is bright, isn't it? Got the sun shining right on him. Currently, feathers cannot be rare. Not sure if we want to enable that. We might someday for enchants, but currently chickens cannot be rare. Likewise, scorpions should now be giving chitin, so they're also no longer able to be rare. I just kind of wanted to scale these guys up, actually, now that I think about it. They're just kind of small. They're already scaled up 4. Let's go even bigger. Bigger is nice. And scary. Let's do like a 3 with a minus 0.2. Up that to 1 maybe. That's big, but that's his stinger's sticking up there. 1.5 might be too much, but it's not that bad. Because even still, that's a meter. That's a big scorpion, no doubt, but still only knee high. I'll just make them easier to spot. We can make spiders bigger. Spiders are pretty small, even though they're giant spiders. I own some other spiders too. We can get in here someday. snail. There we go. Look at this guy. Is there any reason for him? And he's impossible to spot, by the way, in the grass. Don't need 0.3, stuff like that. Let's, just... What's half of 0.35? 0.175. There we go. 0.2. I off-centered it a smidge. It's unnecessary. Just to make them a little easier to hit. I have yet to see a snail run. That's got to be pretty funny, because they're going to be just as fast as anything else, as I haven't or mob speed. I did add range here yesterday. Like, there's no way a snail can, what do they even do, lick you? I guess they're passive, they just run, but spider. There's a capsule collider. Yeah, and you should be able to hit their legs. That's kind of just not nice. Let's do a box collider on this guy as well. And he's pretty... Oh no, that's... went off in a weird direction. That's 1 meter. He's pretty big. They always look really small to me on screen. I wonder if they're being scaled because they're at the start there. That's a good point. We need champion snails. There we go. Have fun gaming. Champion animals. We don't have champion animals yet. Guaranteed rare or higher. That would be good. We'll do that when we get some skills on them, like bites and bucks and stings and stuff. Animals upon creation generate self. They are doing size. Which, if their level's less than 10, it actually makes them a little smaller just because they're near the start. I might want to just turn that off. You know, it makes the guys look beefier as you go. Yeah, it's kind of nice to have that. So, a level 10 spider is going to be a decent size. They're already... Oh, they're not scaled up at all compared to their base. Yeah, I'll go ahead and leave them alone, I guess. But do want to increase this collider. 1 might be a bit much for the Y. 0.5, 0.25. Maybe a little bigger. 0.6. Sorry if this is scaring anybody. I actually picked up a tiny little spider by hand once this year. I was so proud of myself. Like, I get spiders, they crawl on this wall, and they're just the little guys. I don't know, this is an old house. There's a crack somewhere that they come through. They're just little guys, but, you know, nobody likes spiders. Except for my cats. My cats do not mind spiders at all. Munch, munch, munch. I think we can go with some more. Get the legs and the butt in there. That should make spiders easier to hit. Do we have any more? Stag. Stag does Doesn't need to be that precise. Not 5, not 6.6. Y-by doesn't matter so much as this. We don't need to let you get close to the butt. Well, maybe a little bit. 2.2 with a 0.2 forward. That's a little too much, huh? 0.1. And then he is offensive and probably needs a bigger range than that. Yeah, let's go ahead and just do 3 for him. The Viper is really hard to do unless you're looking at him, because this is their T-pose before they get into any animation. I'm going to look at him in game. Meanwhile, I'm going to fix the wolves real quick. Let's give them boxes as well. 1.6-ish? 7-ish? X can go down to 0.5-ish. And height at 1 looks fine. Just gonna copy that for the Arctic wolves. Paste component is new. We'll give it the same deal there. Should be fine. So now we want to go look at the snake in game, and then I can just copy the changes that I do in there. To the desert. Not sure if I have a desert. Are you still importing? Wow. It's going through its second pass there. We should add a little biome icon. That'd be nice. Just a little 20 by 20 icon. Or show the biome. Yeah, I'm just gonna teleport. I know I do have one down there. It'd be nice if I could mouse over that. I'm just gonna teleport down there quick with my hacks. That's gonna be west. Do you want me to try a different microphone? I know this mic is just, I mean, I'm kind of mumbling, you know, if I stick my mouth right in it and I speak in a loud voice, it is louder. If I switch it to this, how's that? That sounds like it's picking up all kinds of stuff. This is my camera microphone. Yeah. Hear my cats running around. I do mumble a lot. And it's kind of off to the side too. I'm still just kind of getting used to things. I should probably have this actually in front of me. I should have it coming from a different direction. This cord's gonna get in my way. I do mumble a lot though, sorry about that. I'll get it right in my face here. And it's kind of a cheap mic anyway. Hopefully I should get a real streamer mic. One of the recommended ones. Where you just put it in front of you and it's pointing at you, you know? This one seems to have nice quality. Thank you for the follow. Up to 8. So I'm looking for a snake out here. And there's a snake. So now I'm going to pause. Go to him. And yeah, that's just a silly collider to have it like that. So let's put a sphere collider on this guy. I mean, it could be a box. Sphere is actually the least performance intensive, but doesn't really matter. They're all easy enough. So this is going to be a radius of 1.5. I might want to up his melee range is upped already a bit to 3. I got a cat chasing a twist tie or something down here. And get rid of this. I don't think that'll cause any problems. Should pick up on this right away. I'll copy it and try again. So yeah, he's not. Oh, Unity's finishing importing, so I'm super slow right now. He's pushing me a little bit, but he'll stay like about that far away. Can I hit him from here? I'm gonna take my sword off because this thing just kills him in one hit. Oh, I almost punched him to death. I did hit him from here just fine. Come on, Unity. You're slowing me down here. Yeah, I think that's a good much better. It'll make them a lot easier to loot too. Oh, you want me to throw your twist tie now? It's probably one of my wife's hairbands. Better not be eating it. Everything's kind of locked up while it waits for this final import to finish on the other instance of Unity I'm trying to open. Viper. So I'm going to get rid of the capsule collider, and I can do paste. That guy is new, so that should help there. Are you ever going to finish your Unity? Come on. There's no way you're importing an XML for that long. Oh, it's trying. What were we looking at? Did that. Did that. So yeah, we were working on that. So you guys are good. No, I don't need to save that. You guys are good. What was it? Player harvesting experience was getting transferred properly, because those are sync vars, which means that they'll update themselves immediately. Everything's locking up here. So what we need it to do is trigger the recipe details window, as well as the stats window. Why wasn't the stats window opening? I thought that refreshed whenever it was opened. Apparently not. Stats UI. I went too far there, I think. Update stats. Who calls you? You need to finish doing whatever you're doing. You're killing me. There's only one call from the main UI, which is just the same thing. What are you doing, kitty? Don't run through my wires. What are you doing? Did you lose it under the computer? Then it's gone. There's no saving it. Another one bites the dust. So who calls you? Player interface, player stats. Yeah, I know these guys are gonna call it. What about this guy? That's only when we toggle it, not when we switch from crafting to stats, which isn't quite enough. Update inventory, update stats. I'd rather it be on here itself. There's no real point to update it every time the main UI comes on. is it doing? Probably maxed my RAM out. All these Chrome tabs take up a lot of RAM too. I have no idea how much Streamlabs eats up either.